It's looking like we are live. Think we're good to go, so I'll do the tweets, you know, and tell everyone that we are live. Bum bum. Alright. Should be good to go any minute now. How is everyone doing? I'm just getting everything ready to go. Basically ready to go out. How is everyone doing today?
Okay.
I'm just getting the last little social posts out of the way. Good to go. Everything is seeming good. Let's get the Twitch chat over into its little location so it's docked over there and I can see those messages. Hurrah! I am exactly where I need to be for combat, for plot progress, but I am gonna go fight at least one random fight somewhere outside, just to get myself warmed up as we give people a minute to arrive. I know I'm starting a little late today just because I went and had a bath after dinner. I had a nice warm bath. And I did mildly slow me down on getting here for recording, but that is, you know, it won't be squeaky clean, all slightly overdone from the warmth. I had a bath that was a bit too hot, boiled myself like a lobster slightly. It was lovely.
We should relish this moment.
Hey, Active Criticism. Good evening, Laura. Glad the sun could spare you from the shading. Oh, I've had people asking me in a few places, you know, because of me being the moon goddess and all, you know, how I'm doing today because of the eclipse. Well, you know, the moon. Today was a demonstration of my powers, you know. The sun itself cowered from my mighty moon-based powers today, you see. And it's good to get a little, you know, stretch the moon goddess magic muscles every now and then. Hey, that Dario Morgan. Hey, Artist Synth. Hey, Thimber. How are you all doing? Were any of you in places today where the eclipse was a viewable thing? I did not get to see it today. I'm not in a bit of the UK where it was a even partially visible one, but I hear for people who it was their first total eclipse, it was everyone had an interesting time. I think the last time the UK had a total eclipse, it was on a very cloudy day, which was very surreal. Stayed in bed, just check the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of people who like. In the UK, if there's going to be like even a partial eclipse, like the entire country fucking stops to see it. Does not seem like America's had nearly the same like, oh shit, it's coming. Oh, we gotta see it. Like craze that the UK tends to get. Let's go and see if we can recover some of Kiryu's old buddies to go help with this quest. If we can get Daigo and Majima and the other one. Ooh, Thimble, what train-related game did you find?
How long we been on the road?
Hey, you could have always stayed back in Yokohama, you know.
Andy H says Google searches for eyes hurt have shot up in the last few hours. Yeah, there's a lot of... I did see a lot of Americans just completely hand-waving away the warning about, like, don't go get some, like, eclipse glasses or something, don't just stare directly at the fucking sun. Being like, it's nothing, it'll be fine. And are paying the prices for it now.
Well, maybe. If I'd have known we were gonna take the scenic route.
No kidding. Still, Kiryu-san's probably better off with a friend or two. So there's that.
Agreed.
A survival train game, you say? Let me pull this
Looks
up.
like it's gonna snow.
Sorry about this.
Oh,
None of the taxis were willing to make the trip.
interesting.
No surprise there. Long distance is a gamble for them. You need someone who will hitch a ride back, and where we're going,
Yeah,
those
it
are
looks
few
cute.
and far in between. Rare sight to behold, honestly. Not many people would want to go up this way. You might even be the first. How come? You guys work in television or something?
No. Just visiting a couple of old friends. It's been a long time.
Kiryu, you should have said you work in television. He gave you the perfect fucking cover for I'm going to a suspiciously remote place for no reason. Like, I'm gonna go work on a documentary or something is the perfect fucking
The
cover.
Second Great Dissolution is the only way to dissolve the remaining Yakuza groups within the country. Perhaps to Ebina, it's just a means to an end, but to Arakawa, it was his dying wish. Knowing that, I swallowed my pride and left prison to see it through. However,
Yeah, we heard about this the other
Ebina's
day.
taken
Supposedly
more
this guy
control
is on
of
our
the Serbian
side.
clan than I could have imagined. He's got me under 24/7 surveillance, no matter what I do. I can't even be alone.
You were
unless I
planning to
take
you were
measures like
you were
this.
planning to undermine
If
Ebina,
we're really going to
but
pull
you
this off,
underestimated how much
I
he
need
would keep his fucking eye on you.
Reinforcements.
Yes. That includes you, Kiryu-san. If you'll permit me to do so. Granted, I understand your situation's tricky. I can't ask you to step back into the limelight. Certainly not at the moment. Now then, this may come off as rude, but instead, I'd like to ask you a favor.
Simba, that sounds pretty fun.
What is it?
Daigo Dojima, Goro Majima, and Taiga Saijima. 3 of the most legendary Yakuza. of
Yeah, these
all
are basically
time.
the people who the first time they tried to dissolve the Yakuza got called in alongside Kiryu.
It's them.
You want me to ask them?
This is the people that in The Man Who
I
Erased
believe
His
they
Name
need
and
their
the first
influence in order
Ichiban
to fulfill
Yakuza.
Arakawa's will.
These are the ones we
And
saw
rightly
come
this
back to
time.
help dissolve the Yakuza.
After the disbanding of the Tojo and the Omi, its former members established a
Hey,
security
Dandelion.
company out in Osaka. It was a refuge for old Yakuza who'd lost their
Yet
way.
another group for
But
ex-Yakuza
all
trying to get back into a
the company
serious
went
life.
under After just a year.
Hooray! I'm glad that the subtitles work again. I'm sorry, I don't know how to make them work on mobile.
Well, sorry to
I don't
say,
know if there is a way to
I
make
don't
them
know where they
work on mobile, but
Even
I'm
if
glad
you
you've got
can't
them again.
contact them, you must have some idea where they might have gone, yes? You're not the type to leave them alone for good. You're the only person who could drag them
look, if
back out
Kiryu
into
wants
the
to go
open.
get Majima and the gang,
Please.
like, work out where they
I
would
don't
have gone to
anyone
hide,
else to turn.
just think, where would I go if I wanted to never be found again? That's probably
I
where
do know that they disappeared.
that lot have ended up.
However, I'm not really sure why. So, guess we start from there. Sorry, guys. In case it wasn't clear, I'll be out for a few days.
Yeah, and the rest of the gang's like, yeah, no, we're not leaving you to go find them yourself. We're coming with you.
Friends, huh? Gosh, these fellas must be pretty eccentric.
Oh, the TV in the
Don't
care
mean to
home
be
was far enough
rude,
away, they were
but
too small.
No one in their
Are they
right
not
mind
size
would go
adjustable?
there. No, sir.
I'd be wrong. I thought there was a option to
I'm
change
sure they've got their
caption
reasons.
sizes.
Reasons, sure. Well, give it 2, maybe 3 more hours on the road. Oh.
I'll have a look at it in a sec.
Better bundle up, friend.
Oh, the in-game ones. Yeah, I turned the in-game ones up as much as I can, but There is a limit to how big this game... Like, I'm glad that they have some options to make them larger, but they're definitely not the biggest I've seen available. Welcome everyone to the ex-Yakuza Shack. If you want to get out of the game, this is apparently where you now live.
We'll hang out here.
Appreciate it.
One thing, maybe try to make it quick. The sooner we get out of this cold, the better.
Sure.
Like, I'm trying to imagine what life is like for Majima and the rest of...
Maybe a shack, but it's still home.
Because, like, look, I'm just gonna say this now. Majima's the only one here right now, but, Saejima and, the other guy, Daigo, are both also living here. And in my head, it's just the three of these men living in the frozen north by the sea in one tiny little empty shack. And I just wonder what day-to-day life for the three of them is like. Like, you know, I could almost imagine
Try knocking.
Majima's depression
Go a
shed.
long way, after all.
Ooh, Daria Morgan, my cat. Smudge loves to be up on shoulders. Enjoy your new furry scarf.
Shit. You're getting old, Kiryu-chan.
Time will do that, Majima-san.
Hey, Matt Mercer in an eye patch.
Kiryu-san.
Because, yeah, first thing we gotta know, this shack only has one bed. And, like, granted, maybe these two have a shack, each have a shack nearby, like it's a little commune of 3 shacks. In my imagination, all 3 of these guys are sharing the one bed. And I'm like, if you're gonna do that, at least spring for, like, a second-hand queen mattress. You know, don't go for a single wedge all 3 of you
Guess
in.
that goes for all of us, eh?
Yeah.
Well, grab a seat.
Because the reason I think all 3 of them live in the one shack is they have 3 little stool seats around the mini fire. Like, I'm pretty sure it's just all 3 of them living in the we don't want to be in the Yakuza series anymore shack.
Haven't seen you since the dissolution.
It's been 4 years already. Last I'd heard, you had a security company out in Sotenbori.
Had. And hey, look where we are now.
What about you, Kiryu-san? You doing okay these days? You don't look yourself, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, about that.
Actually, that's no surprise. I've got cancer. They gave me half a year.
You what?
Okay.
Even the dragon, huh? Guess no one's safe.
Guess not.
Well, if you're short on time, might as well drink up. Doubt Hell's got a good selection.
I don't know, I disagree with you, Majima. Look, if we're looking at, like, the Christian afterlife and the idea of heaven and hell, I would put my money on hell having better alcohol than heaven. Heaven feels like they'd be like a real buzzkill. You wouldn't be able... I don't think you'd be able to get, what was that alcohol I had on Poquisition years ago? Vintique? The Galaxy wine with the swirling glitter in it. Heaven's gonna be like, no, that's a bit tacky, it's a little bit gauche. Hell will be like, yeah, no, we're stabbing you with red hot pokers, the least we can let you do is have a fun sparkle drink.
Majima-san, the man's dying for pity's sake.
It's all right, Daigo.
I have indeed seen Has Been Hotel. I have opinions on that show as a queer ex-theater kid. That was heavily Christian and then dropped out of theology entirely. I have opinions about that show.
I'll enjoy things while I can. long as I'm still here, I'll keep pushing along.
Well, better not waste your time with us then.
No, because Dandelion says no, Heaven goes all in on tacky. Heaven goes all in on, like big ornate sculptures tacky. They go highbrow tacky. They go, like, fancy rich person minimalist tacky. Like, every surface is made of marble with, like, white, like, gold gilded edges. It's not, gimme the fucking $3 sparkle wine. That's not Heaven's vibe. To me, at least. Heaven is, like, ever so slightly pretentious. Hell is like, oh yeah, have your bottle of, like, two quid plastic bottle of Scrumpy.
Fine. What happened to you? How'd
What
you
about all
end
the
up
Catholic
here?
tat? But again, here's the thing about the Catholic tat. The Catholic tat is all, like, it's all very pristine ornate. It's ornate, but it's all simple. Okay, how do I put this? Single material or single ingredient. I feel like Heaven, you'd get wine and that's it. It's just plain wine because it's like you've got a marble sculpture and gold on the top, and it's all single things. And it's like Hell's where you would get the, like, I made a weird fucking cocktail. It tastes good, just don't ask me what's in it and you're gonna black out for 2 days. Like, Hell's gonna have the weird shit.
Who cares about us? This is no place for someone in your condition.
Minimalist is maybe not the right word. Is there such a thing as minimal maximalism? In that it's grand and ostentatious, but it's grand and ostentatious in a way where it's like someone was like fighting between their Marie Kondo, does this spark me joy, and their yes, but I need you to know that I'm better than you. Like, I've got to minimalize it as much as I can while still making it clear that you are dwarfed in excess. Does Hell have hangovers? Yeah, but, like, here's the thing about Hell. Hell has hangovers, but there's so much else going on that, like, the hangover is basically unnoticeable, and everyone else in Hell is hungover, so, like, you at least get the sympathy nods.
You need to be back in the city. I'll get you a car.
Daigo. Honestly, you'd think you'd learn by now.
Look, maybe this is me just being disillusioned with the Christian church, but in my head I'm like, I'm very much of the feeling of like, look, if I end up in Hell, I'm gonna be in good company. Because if I'm going to Hell, it's probably like, if the church I was in was right and me being gay and trans is gonna send me to Hell, I'm gonna be in Hell with all the other gay and trans people. I wouldn't want to be in entirely cishet heaven. That's not the place for me.
You think Kiryu-chan here's gonna listen to that?
It's been so long. I'd almost forgotten. Really, I suppose this is just like old times. So, you want to know what happened? Is that it?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why you're all living in a
The war
shack.
happened. That's what. We lost. Settle in, because this'll take a minute. Now, when we set up the company, we knew...
Yeah, so they set up a company trying to,
involved.
like, get ex-yakuza at work.
This happened right after we dissolved 2 major clans. How could there not be? We knew we'd get people's attention. Especially since we were all former Yakuza.
Knowing you, I'll bet you tried to mitigate that.
Of course. Naturally, I tried to take every precaution possible beforehand.
Quickly, Thimber in the Twitch chat says, in gaming gossip news, Yuji Naka, Sonic co-creator, came back to Twitter after being arrested for insider trading and threw some shots at the Dragon Quest dev. So, I would take his allegations with a bit of a grain of salt, because here's the thing. If he genuinely believed that the Dragon Quest dev was lying under oath in trial, like lying about Yuji Naka and saying untrue things about him, if he genuinely believed that, he'd have, like, said, no, that's a lie, and, like, he would have challenged it, he'd have told his lawyer, got his lawyer to challenge the Dragon Quest dev's statements. He didn't challenge those statements in court, which means he knows he doesn't have a leg to stand on to say that the guy is lying. But he wants to be able to say it now when it doesn't, like, he's not under oath anymore. He wants to be able to be like, oh, I was framed, when it doesn't require lying under oath. Like, that's the vibe I get.
Used all our connections from both the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance. Talked with the media and the higher-ups. Granted, those things don't come for free. Close to 70,000 lives were on the line, and the 5-year ex-Yakuza clause would have swallowed them whole if not for that. I did what I felt was necessary.
I'm not here to tell you whether you made the right choices. There's only one thing I want to know. Where did it go wrong?
Well, things were great at the beginning. Gradual as it was, we built a fairly large clientele. I mean, plenty of businesses need protection. We had the men for the job. When it came to reintegrating criminals back into society,
Much like Ichiban, you were trying to do the thing.
After the first year, we started seeing some issues.
Something with the employees come up?
Now, online accusations. A popular channel did a feature on our company. Thanks to that, all of our actions...
Oh, Tatara Channel shut down yet another group of people who were trying to rehabilitate ex-Yakuza, did they? Fuck you, Chitose. You fucked so much up for so many people.
The Tatara Channel. Who else? Same.
Oh, good night, Basin.
And it wasn't just
Andy H. Yeah, Rise of Ronin. Easy mode, pausable. Mind-blowing, right?
They stretched the truth paper thin, and we ended up taking the heat.
Maybe. But even with all the stretching, we still did what we did to get ahead.
In light of that, there wasn't much we could say in our defense. Before long, our customers started leaving, one after another.
Government boys washed their hands of us, too. Talk about heartless.
From there, all eyes were on us. The world was watching our every move.
Yeah, Chitose really did fuck over absolutely every single, like, surviving named character in the Yakuza series.
The Yakuza life was calling them back.
I mean, you got former Chairman Daigo up top, and we're right there with him. Ain't hard to see. If we wanted to start things up, we definitely had the means.
Among some employees, there were even talks that we were planning to revive the Tojo clan. All sorts of rumors made their way around. The company was in shambles, and in such short time. It's a miracle we didn't go sooner.
Thanks to the Tatara Channel, society wanted nothing to do with us, and those inside started longing for the old days.
I really feel like Chitose needed to do more than one apology to Ichiban. Like, I really don't think Chitose's quite apologized enough for the scale of people she fucked over.
That explains why you're out here.
If we really wanted to see the Great Dissolution through, this was the best way. That's what we concluded, at least.
I think I get what happened. Do you know Ebina of the Seiryu clan? He took over the Great Dissolution once you left, at least on the surface.
Yes, I know the name. I've never met him.
VTubers are evil, stand by it.
We got a
This game is entirely VTubers and clout chasing, you know, prank channels, and internet personalities generally are just trash.
His name alone isn't enough to unite the Yakuza.
Sorry for the fact that I am partially the villain of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm sorry everyone for that.
Little did he know, that ship had already sailed.
Yeah, that was part of it. However, there was something else that bothered me.
The man was due for a background check, and what we found was odd, to say the least.
Ebina was raised by a single mother. She died when he was in middle school. Afterward, his family name was changed. He became the Ebina we knew today. But the name he had before, it was Hikawa. Hikawa? Ebina's mother's name is Yuriko Hikawa. She's the Hikawa family patriarch's daughter.
Hikawa family? You mean Masumi Arakawa's old family? That Hikawa?
Correct. And did you know that Arakawa-san and this Yuriko Hikawa were once engaged?
Right. The Patriarch pushed the proposal on him, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but Arakawa-san already had a woman he loved. That was
Someone is
Kami-san.
Ichiban's half-brother,
However,
it sounds like.
despite that knowledge, he couldn't just go against his own boss's wishes. And so he kept a relationship with Yuriko-san as well. Now, this brings up a good question. Just who is Ebina's father?
Yeah, because the picture that's being painted here is very much Ichiban's father, Masamu Arakawa, he was being forced to marry someone in the crime families. He didn't want to marry that person. He was secretly seeing Akane, Ichiban's mother. That's why Akane was like beaten and chased out of town and everything. Ichiban was born in the locker because, like, you know, had to keep hidden that, like, this kid had survived and whatnot. But also, he was, as it turns out, also having a relationship with the person from the family he was being set up with to make it less obvious that he was secretly seeing Akane. So we might have gotten this other woman pregnant, she might have had a kid, Ichiban might have a half-brother. Tara, what did you miss? We drove in a lorry up north, we found the weird remote shack where a bunch of Kiryu's old ex-people used to live. The Totara channel fucked up their whole deal as well, and maybe Ichiban has a half-brother. Ebina might be Ichiban's half-brother, question mark. Very quickly, Bella Bean says, Laura, I liked your Botany Manor video today. I want to play it, but I'm a bit concerned about running back and forth for clues. Honestly, best advice I have, play on something like the Switch where you have easy ability to take screenshots. Take screenshots of the clues, look at the screenshots in your gallery, rather than running back and forth. I think that'll help a lot.
You don't mean...
This is all just speculation, of course. But Masumi Arakawa may in fact be Ebina's father. Ebina is around Kasuga's age, give or take. Even their birth dates are similar.
Secret
Kasuga and
sibling.
Ebina. You're saying they could be half-brothers?
We told you it was odd, didn't we?
But if that's really the case, I can't imagine Arakawa would just abandon his own son.
Judging from when Ebina was born, Arakawa-san must not have known about Yuriko's pregnancy. And after the Hikawa family all but collapsed, Yuriko gave birth without a soul knowing. From her perspective, Arakawa not only
So
killed her
what I'm
father,
taking away from this is Arakawa... He has 2 biological children, maybe, and still somehow managed to raise someone else's kid thinking it was his because of the locker mix-up. He had 2 biological kids, one of them he didn't know about, one of them he got mixed up with another person's kid. He really fumbled the ball on having one of his children in front of him and going, yep, that one's mine. He really
also
bundled
abandoned
that
her
one.
son, leaving them completely alone.
Infinite wealth of
I can
children.
only imagine the anger and spite she must have felt. And what if that anger was passed down to Ebina?
Ebina does hold a lot of hatred for
Yeah.
Arakawa.
Arakawa wanted to dissolve the Yakuza.
So it's hard
Now,
to
out of
imagine
spite,
that
Ebina wants to
would take
rebuild it,
Arakawa-san's
'cause
legacy.
that fucks up
The second
Arakawa's
greatest
legacy.
was all the man ever wanted.
So you guys kept your silence, and as a result, Sawashiro was chosen for the task instead.
Yes, I believe that's the case.
Yep, that about wraps it up. But hey, I'm sure you didn't come all this way for story time now, did ya?
That's right. Actually, I have a favor I want to ask you. I want you guys to help out Sawashiro. As it turns out, he's trying to fulfill Arakawa's wish too. Bringing about the second great dissolution. Ebina's watching him like a hawk, like he's the Seiryu clan's prisoner. If he just had your help, Sawashiro could step up and knock him off his throne. You all started it. The second great dissolution should be yours to finish.
I mean, to be fair, Kiryu, the 3 of these lot came back to try and dissolve the Yakuza once and it didn't
There's
stick.
nothing we can do.
Like, I can't blame them if they're a bit skeptical that this one will work.
At least pay attention.
Kiryu,
But yeah, Majima's here.
they're right.
We're in
We got
the
no
Majima
business
shack.
around here anymore. I mean, sure. It's true we got the power to rally, folks.
These three men are sharing that one bed back
We
there,
join
I've
Sawashiro
decided.
on stage, and we'll get the attention of every Yakuza in the country.
It's called charisma. Nobody's stupid enough to say that for themselves, but hell if it ain't true. How it goes. Slice it however
They
you
take it
want.
in turns being the
That's
one on the
Yakuza
mattress
way.
portion, and the other two have to be
Dreams
on the
we ended up
cardboard to
giving
either
others?
side.
They're what keep them coming back. The Yakuza we knew was strong. That Yakuza had money.
They are lucky to be sharing a
Those
bed with
dreams
Majima,
ain't
right?
handing out right now.
I'd put up with a lot of
We need
bad
guys
sleeping
who can help them
situations
get
if it
back
meant I
to
was
the
sleeping
real
next to Majima.
No way in hell that's us.
Especially not with our recent track record.
Oh, come on,
The
guys.
moment we learned
Look.
something was off with Ebina's history, we knew there
Look,
was
guys, Kiryu's literally dying of cancer. Come back
Yes,
for one
there's a
last
chance
big
he's taking
fight.
advantage
You
of the
know,
second
for old
great
time's
dissolution
sake.
for his own interest.
Literally your last chance to do it.
However, if he pulls it off, who are we to interfere? If anything, we should keep our distance.
Right. So this is how you're taking responsibility?
It is. We'll act as if we don't exist. That's the
All
best
these
we can
old
do.
men just deciding,
Honestly,
oh, it's better for the world if I just pretend not to exist and live in a misery shack with one tiny mattress between three of us. It's better for the world.
Are you aware of what they all say? All those Yakuza. Do you know how they see you? Yeah, they act like you're some great mythical hero. If we ended up just like you, the illusions of the Yakuza life would be stronger than ever. Just look at your own life. Shintaro Kazuma was everything to you. How'd that turn out?
Sawashiro would sacrifice himself to take down Ebina. That alone won't be enough to save everyone.
Yeah, we need you three and
Count
your
on
big
help.
50-plus-year-old muscles.
I'm sorry.
The three of you have more willingness to murder random civilians in a big
I'll be
fight
there for
than
Sawashiro
anyone I
as best
know.
can. You guys can just keep rotting away.
Now, Kiryu, take the right lesson away from this. You've looked at these three and gone, you're just going to do nothing with your life and pretend you're all already dead and pretend you don't exist anymore. That's rotting away and, like, not even trying. You shouldn't do that. Now, Kiryu, you are currently pretending to be dead and pretending you don't exist and, like, not really engaging with life. You could maybe take how you feel about your three friends and apply it to yourself and, like, live your life.
Guess I was wrong.
Hold it! The hell's that supposed to mean?
It's just as I said. I was stupid to think coming up here would change anything.
You're all a bunch of
Go ahead and
losers.
run. Just remember that for all your excuses, you still have a job to do.
I don't believe Majima has kids. I don't think any of the three of these have kids, do they?
What do you know? What could you possibly know about what we've been through? You have any idea what it's like?
No, I can't say I do.
Okay, Majima at one point got someone pregnant, she had an abortion, never told Majima about it. Majima felt... Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, they were married, Majima felt betrayed. The marriage fell apart over the abortion. Majima believed he was doing more harm than good by staying, the two divorced. And then she learned she was infertile. Well, ouch. Yeah, she got the abortion because she was like, nope, I can't get pregnant right now. My career will fall apart. Like, I do not have time to have a baby. And Majima did not take it well. I had forgotten that was a thing. I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of fucking plots in Yakuza. There's so much Yakuza in the Yakuza.
What's wrong? If you want to fight, don't hold back.
Yeah, which game was that?
Boy, do I hate getting worked up over petty shit like this.
Oh, that's 5. Yeah,
Better than
okay.
Sitting around being pissed off, though.
And the online game, the MMO.
Sure, why not? Let's throw a few punches. For old time's sake.
Hey, what's going on?
Yes, 5 is the one with, some would argue, too many protagonists.
Town don't look like one.
Sorry for the wait. I'll need just a little more time.
Quit acting so tough. We're not gonna leave our friend out to dry like that.
More importantly, if we stay out here any longer, we'll all freeze to death.
So you've got.
Oh, I don't disagree. I just have a memory like a sieve. Thanks, ADHD /
Have to tag in too.
years of trauma ruining my nervous system and my ability to form memories properly. Fun fact, too much of the stress chemical cortisol for too long a period in the brain fundamentally fucks up the brain's ability to store long-term memory. That's a fun fact. Literally shrinks the bit of the brain that turns short-term memories to long-term ones. Woo! Let's go. Let's fuck these guys up.
We have a few bruises after this.
Hey, we can't back down now. We're locked in, sister, so buckle up.
Okay, oh, I didn't heal up everyone's MP before starting this. Okay, let's do a big attack that we haven't done before. 10k, 10 million. Yeah, let's summon our newest person. Let's summon Date-san. His is one of my favorite Poundmates animations. It's expensive, so I don't summon it often.
Heavy artillery.
That seems to be a sniper shotgun. Oopsie. Go on, Date, you've got this. I believe in you.
Mission accomplished. All according to plan.
Here we go.
That's a decent start. Essence of Dragon God.
Time to shut it down. Feel that heat.
I feel like watching all the fight animations for this fight, or at least Kiryu's ones, given that it's Kiryu fighting his old buddies from the old games. It's a big fight. Enjoy all the fancy cinematics for a minute and not rush myself.
Hold on a second. Here we go.
Oh. Look at these men just doing regular ass punches after I have, you know, crashed a helicopter into them and breathed dragon fire upon them. Oh, look, I got new buddies. The next generation stepping in to have Kiryu's back. Majima would be a good pound mate. He was a great pound mate in the first one. I guess it would be Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon. His whole deal, if I remember right, was he stood at the top of a skyscraper and summoned in like 10,000 knives, and then ran down the side of the building full sprint, knives chasing him, to eventually throw his hands forward and just rain knives down on people while he cackled. It was great. Let's sear Majima like he's a big piece of meat. Area, can I get 2 of them in? Yeah, let's do ladder acrobatics. Oh, here's the thing I can probably talk about in some vague but nice terms. I'm doing some accessibility consulting soon for a real small game. I'm excited about it. I think the game looks real interesting. I'm excited to be able to do some cool work on it. But the thing that like kind of stuck in my head, and I haven't been able to shake yet, it's cool, is when I say this is like a real small team that's making this game, and it's like a game that's like, you know, it's going to be on consoles, but it's being made by 2 people. Which means that I'm going to be in the credits a bit. There's probably going to be a while where I am one of only 3 people in the credits for this game. I will be the 3rd person in the credits on a game just by virtue of the credits have only 2 people right now, and I am doing some work on it. So that was a weirdly nice one. I was like, it's not the biggest game I've done work on, but it's kind of cool being like, I'm gonna be one of literally only 3 people in the credits of like, you know, the demos and things for a while, which the credits are gonna be in the demos.
Time for the real deal.
There'll be at least one game. There'll be at least, at the very least, there'll be a demo for a game this year where you can look at the credits and go, 1/3 of the credits is Laura. Okay, yeah, let's break the guard break there. Terra says, great job on Dice Funk. Austin has his work cut out for him if he wants to find a riddle you can't solve. Oh. Terra, here's all I'll say. You will love the way that this arc ends. I'm not going to say anything more than you will love the way this arc ends. I am so happy with the end of the arc, the current arc. But what you've said there leads me to think you will enjoy the end of this arc. I'm glad people are enjoying the new Dice Funk arc that started today. The excuse for me to explore the weird intricacies of the riddle fish religion, and turning it into the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit trifecta of no one's quite sure what this deity is. Is it a snake? Is it a fish? Is it an eel? None of us are quite sure. We're building the religious lore as we go.
You're going to regret this.
Hajime, you have such high agility. Oh, I might actually have to do a heal soon. I need to focus on a single person and get like one individual character out soon. Namba, let's do your tag team. And then we'll get Seong-hee on healing probably next turn. And Daria Morgan says, I like how, despite each Dice Funk season being standalone, you still get to see the world evolve over time throughout the seasons. It's a difficult balancing act, and I think some of our seasons have done a better job of it than others, but I do love... yeah, the Riddle Fish / Riddle Snake is such a fun example of that. Because if you come in and, like, Season 11 is your first Dice Funk season, you'll be like, oh, that's a fun, silly little bit of world building. Whereas if you listen to, what was it, Season 9, you'll go, oh, that's that thing that Mari offhandedly threw in as a joke in the final episode, when sort of pushed to create a fake fantasy creature. And we spitballed for like 30 seconds in Season 9, and now it's a core character trait for Season 11.
Here it comes.
Like, the last episode of Season 9 is literally us just spitballing a bunch of concepts that Austin somehow made cohesive enough to make a season... make Season 11 out of. All the stuff with, like, the holes, the resurrection holes, and the process of bringing body parts back to be put in a resurrection well, and the Riddle Fish / Snake being sort of a guardian deity of that process, all came out of, like, player spitballing ideas at the end of a campaign. And that feels really satisfying. Yeah, the land being plants. The very plant-heavy biome, coming out of Juniper's... Yeah, Juniper's desire for plants to never be lost to extinction, and therefore, what if we could revive plants should something go wrong? What are we doing? I really need to get some team healing going. Kiryu, wake the fuck up so I can attack with you. You're my big damage dealer. I want everyone else to be on team on healing duty, but I get the 300 MP and HP to every party member. Yeah, that'll do.
This will help.
That'll get everyone looking a good chunk healthier. Healthy enough that I can probably just focus. If I kill Majima, I assume the Majima clones go down. Ah, look at this! I'm having a real-time Majima battle. He's broken out of the real-time zone as well. Out of the turn-based zone.
I won't hold back.
Oh, hey, Saejima, you're getting the real-time treatment too. But again, like, the whole reason that the, like, resurrection well even needs to exist in Dice Funk is only a thing because in Season 6, was it? Nifix destroyed the world tree and sort of, with it, destroyed the afterlife system and made it so that resurrection magic doesn't work properly anymore. Like, the entire premise of the season of having, like, people have to queue up at one place in the world to do resurrection of the dead is only a thing because I made a choice many seasons ago to completely upend the afterlife system and break how resurrection magic worked in Dice Funk as a setting. Okay, just got one of you left now. You should be pretty easy to one-on-one. Ooh. Persona fans in the chat today. there's a lot of hubbub that we might be seeing Persona 6 at the Summer Games Fest in June. A very accurate Sega leaker is sharing a lot of Persona 6 details, like enough of them that it's like, oh, you've probably seen the trailer. It seems like it's very close to being ready to show. We're nearly at the end of the Persona 5 spin-off lifespan, which, if you remember, we had one of these Persona 4 Dancing All Night, Persona 4 Royale, etc. This is how Atlus do the Persona cycle. I'll say one thing that I don't think anyone will consider a spoiler, but apparently, you know how like Persona 3 is the blue one, and Persona 5 is the red one? Persona 6 apparently the green one. Apparently this is going to be the green Persona game. Oh, apparently they've been working on Persona 6 for way longer than this, according to this Sega leaker. So Persona 5 Tactica, which is the tactics game, Persona 3 Reload, and Persona 6, all three kind of started development at the same time in about 2019. So they've been, maybe not full production, but Persona 6 has been bubbling away since like 2019.
No begging for mercy now.
Yeah, it was blue. 3 was blue, 4 was yellow, red was 5, green seems to be 6. Do you need to have played the previous games to get into a new Persona game? Not at all. Here's what, some people might argue differently, but I would say they are very much self-contained stories. All they really have in common is some teenagers gain the magical power to fight monsters through some kind of mechanic that reveals, a persona, some sort of magical version of themselves that can fight in a weird other world. In Persona 3, it's a bunch of teens shooting themselves in the head with guns, blowing their brains out to activate their magic powers. Persona 5, it's we're gonna be the Phantom Thieves and we're gonna rip off a mask to reveal our true selves. But they're all kind of go into the other world, go fight a bunch of monsters in the other world, while also living, like, keeping your daily life going and doing, like, daily life sim stuff. Yeah, like, some of the ones that are, like, Persona 5, and Persona 5, What's the one that is a Warriors game? Persona 5 Warriors, I want to call it. I don't think that's what it's actually called. Those two are connected. They're both Persona 5 games. You play Persona 5. Persona 5 Warriors is like a sequel. Strikers, that's it. Is a sequel to Persona 5. So, like, if you're gonna play the spin-offs of one of them, maybe play, like, the base version of that one before its spin-offs. But, like, a numbered one, you can just jump into any one. Yeah, they reference each other and take place in the same world, but aren't connected story-wise. Exactly. Also, I think I have an accessibility thumbnail for this week to look at. Ooh. Yeah, that's great. That is a very silly... That is not at all what I would have imagined for a thumbnail for this week's AA, but now I've seen it, I can't imagine anything else being the thumbnail. It's great.
There's more where this came from. Yes.
Yeah, Hero puts it well. The main sort of, like, the best you could hope for out of playing all of them is you might get to go, ooh, that's why that butterfly was golden that one time. Like, it's that kind of shit. Jane, it is raining choice indeed. It's raining choice, and I am sheltered from that rain. How you doing, Jane? Love you. Right, we beat up all our old heroes. Now will they come and fight with me? Now that I've...
Straight with me.
I've beaten them into friendship.
Are you scared of screwing up people's lives? Maybe you just don't want to fail again.
Oh, harsh, Kiryu,
Whatever the
harsh.
reason, you'll never know if you don't try.
You act like it's so
Understandable, Jane.
Say we do try. What happens if it all goes to hell again, huh?
Oh, Cass, I hope you survived the eclipse and the MRI well.
Long as you're breathing, keep moving, keep trying, and figure it out.
There you go, Kiryu. He's getting it. He's finally coming around.
Always the hero.
Say what you want.
Kiryu's finally working out that living is maybe worth trying for.
Besides, this is the last time. Anyway, I'm gone. You won't be hearing from me again.
Wait. Don't go. Kiryu-san, I get that you don't have a lot of time left. Still, it's not worth it.
Well,
That's no
Daigo,
reason for you to run off and get yourself killed.
Daigo, would you rather he just sit and wait out his final
You're
6
wrong,
months
Daigo.
in the misery shed with the three of you, sharing one bed with one single mattress and a bit of cardboard to either side? There's not room for a fourth person. There's barely room for a second person in your bed, Daigo, let alone a fourth. You let Kiryu, keep trying.
Honestly, it's a weight off my shoulders. My death's finally worth a damn.
Kiryu.
No,
you say?
Kiryu, you're talking about dying again. I thought we decided you were going to try and live.
I've screwed up more lives than I can count at this point.
Yeah, I don't think living in the shack would be good for the cancer.
I'm a Yakuza.
A doctor probably wouldn't recommend he live in that
Exactly
shack.
lived a life that I can be proud of. Yet even then, through it all, I'm somehow still here. So that's it. The Yakuza have made a huge mess for themselves.
Yeah, Incovenant
Once
Hero,
I grab hold,
that tech is
I am taking
scary.
it with me.
I'm not a fan of it as someone in a creative
That's
field,
no
but
excuse to-
it's getting scary what it can do.
Wait till things settle down. Come then, Kasuga's gonna need your help. The Yakuza have one chance. Their future depends on him.
Aw, hey, even if you won't come fight by my side, my old friends, at least be there for Ichiban when he takes my place and
It's
becomes
funny.
the new
I
guy.
came to ask you guys for help. But maybe all I wanted was one last fight.
Come on, guys, don't leave him hanging. He's got 6 months, maybe. Go have one last hurrah with him, not against him, with him. Yeah, Incompetent Hero, the one that gets me, the one that gets me in terms of like music AI being kind of scary is so there is a My Chemical Romance song called Sister to Sleep that for the longest time was only available as like one really terrible quality live recording from like 2002. Granted, there are now better recordings of it. They played it again in 2022, and there is now at least better live recordings of this track. The studio version of this song only exists, like, there's a couple of 15-second snippets. There's a couple of very short snippets of it that were shared by the drummer, or the ex-drummer who got kicked out of the band for stealing from the band, and being a bigot, which sucks. But apparently he's the only person that has a studio version of that song that still exists. My point being, the best version of that song, depressingly, that exists is someone did a cover of Sister to Sleep in a studio, and then used AI to change their voice to sound like MCR singer Gerard Way's voice. And it's a fucking uncannily good cover. Like, AI did some wizardry shit, And that is depressingly the best sounding copy of Sister to Sleep that exists out there, but I don't want to support it because fuck AI. You know, if that song ever gets officially released, I'll support it then. But like, yeah, music AI, as with all AI, is fucking terrifying, the state it's getting to.
Well, we're back. And no Daigo Dojima, Taiga Saijima, or Goro Majima. Ah, man. If they just get off their asses, we'd have wrapped things up by now.
You're probably right. They seem to have made up their minds, though. It's not like we can force them to help out.
Got me there. I swear. To think the Tatara channel got a hold of them, too.
Yeah.
Hero, I'm against... well, there's a few things I'm against in AI art, but off the top of my head, here's what I would say. I think there are two things I fundamentally have a problem with AI art. Is A, stealing people's work to create new derivative works without without in any way compensating or getting the permission of the artist who the data was trained on. Because like something like that My Chemical Romance AI cover of Sister Sleep could not exist without, without permission, scraping all of the vocal samples that exist of Gerard Way. But also, I am against creating new works in the style of existing artists. Specifically, making a new song that with an AI that sounds like it was made by insert band. Because, A, like, those people did not consent to having those words put in their mouth. B, they did not it does a disservice, I think, to the creative to put AI stuff and say this is like them. It devalues the human creativity that comes out of people whose work you should respect. Like, I know that there's a shit ton of, for a while there was a real trend of people making new songs in the style of My Chemical Romance using AI and trying to pass them off as real and whatever, but I'm like, if you really do like the work of those artists, you like the work that came out of their lived experience and the things they've created, and it's like, don't go trying to, farm out autocomplete what you think they would do next. Just fucking be respectful and let them make art. Incompetent Hero says, the AI I had used specifically was trained to ignore bands and artists as a generative point. Here's a fun secret. A lot of the ones that tell you that, they don't. They're just, they don't let you directly ask the prompt machine about it, but they're often still trained on it. Oh yeah. Andy H says, someone used AI to complete Keith Haring's last piece of work, which was deliberately unfinished due to him dying of AIDS. The point of the artwork was that it was unfinished. The fact that it was started and never finished is the whole fucking point of the piece of art. And someone used AI to fill in the rest of it so we can finally see his lost missing piece of work. It's like, no, he left it deliberately unfinished as a fucking statement piece, and you auto-completed some rough silhouettes of stick figures in and were like, that's better, it's finished now. Completely fucking... No, Incompetent Hero, don't apologize. I love getting into these conversations. Yeah, it's... That particular unfinished piece of artwork is maybe the best crystallizing I've ever seen of why it is disrespectful to create new works as if, to take a piece of work that an artist never finished for whatever reason and go, I'll complete that for them. It may, maybe that unfinished piece of work is a particularly stark example, but I feel the same about most pieces of work. It's why I think that AI cover of Sister to Sleep rubs me the wrong way, is that MCR as a band could go into a studio and record a copy of Sister to Sleep. They had to, work out how to play it again because, all the copies have been lost to play that one live show they did. If they wanted to, they could have finished their tour and gone, well, we're at it. Should we just, go in and knock out a copy of Sister to Sleep in the studio and, put it out? And they didn't choose to, and I'm like, I don't know what the reasons are for that, but it feels disingenuous for me to be like, I should take it upon myself to go, circumvent the fact that you didn't go finish that piece of art. Dark Steel, thank you very much for the 17 months of sub. Hey, did you hear that KOTOR remake is still happening? I mean, Saber Interactive say it is. Sony still... PlayStation seems to want to have nothing to do with it anymore, but Saber Interactive says it's still happening. Hero says, this happens a lot in analog contexts too. All the new Prince songs were taken out of a safe by a safecracker, and Prince said a lot of back and forth stuff about if it ever should have been published. Yeah, it's tricky. Like, I'll say this. I felt real complicated feelings when, about 2 years ago now, I think, someone somehow got a hold of, like, 3 unreleased My Chemical Romance songs. I believe they were from the scrapped Paper Kingdom album that would have been the follow-up to, Welcome to the Black Parade, before they scrapped it and went in the direction of Danger Days. And specifically, that album, My Chemical Romance scrapped the Paper Kingdom because it was too fucking dark of an album. It was an album... They were like, Black Parade, most successful album we've ever fucking done. We should try and lean into that and, like, up the ante. And what they took away from that was the wrong lessons, that they needed to be, like, dark in their theatricality. And they started working on this album that was meant to be from the perspective of a bunch of grieving parents in a support group for, like, parents whose children had died or gone missing in tragic ways. And they deliberately scrapped that album because they were like, it was not good for them, like, mental health-wise, it was not good for the band to make that album. But 3 songs off that album, someone got a hold of them and was trying to sell them online for ridiculously large amounts of money. And, like, very short clips of each of these 3 songs were put out to be like, hey, we're proving this is real, with, like, very obnoxious watermarks over it. And I felt real conflicted, because I'm like, this is my favourite band ever, and music of theirs I've never heard, and I would pretty much anything to hear 3 new songs from my favourite band ever, a band who broke up for a decade and I thought I would never get new music from, and then they came back and made 1 new song before touring for like 2 years. But also, I understand what that album is, and I understand, like, that band scrapped that album for a reason, and I can fundamentally understand why they would never want those tracks getting out there, because that is an album they made a conscious decision as creatives to go, this is not us. I'm still of the belief that some of the stuff that was worked on for the Paper Kingdoms album ended up getting reworked into solo Jared Way content. I think the song Pinkish, I am convinced that Pinkish was originally going to be a song on the Paper Kingdoms, or at least was reworked into it from a Paper Kingdom song, but I don't blame the band for not necessarily wanting that stuff to get out as much. It's tricky. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if someone were to take that, like, 15-second clip of one of those 3 songs, pump it into an AI and say, this is a clip from a song, can you make the full song this fits in? And try and auto-generate the rest of that song. And I don't want that. Like, of all the outcomes of that situation, AI tried to guess most of an MCR song based on a very short clip is not what I want.
Hey.
Anyway, that's my little diversion.
Isn't that Kiryu? Yeah, look. It's gotta be him.
It really is.
What's going on?
Kiryu, you're pretending to be dead. Really isn't going well.
Just keep coming back. I don't
Ooh,
care if I get locked up.
a cat. How'd you find Uncomfortable Labels? Did you get on all right with it?
Let's lose him and get back to Kasuga's place.
Get back here, damn it!
Oh yeah, Hero, I don't mind a human making a tribute album. A human making a tribute requires some fucking human input and some creative choices and, like, you know, showing an understanding of the material and a love for the thing you're trying to emulate. It's why I don't have a problem, like, I don't like the AI cover of Sister to Sleep. But what I do like is that that same artist did put out a copy of their cover of Sister to Sleep without the AI filter over it. And it doesn't sound like Gerard Way, but I'm like, this I prefer. You took a song that was only ever played live, you recorded it in a studio, you made it your own, and I think that's great. It's when you try and, like, pretend, make it sound like Gerard Way sung a song that he never sung in a studio, that it feels weird. Oh, fucking VTuber again!
What's up, people? Tatara Channel coming at ya!
That VTuber has a slightly different voice now, huh? I wonder if the VTuber fans are gonna notice Chitose's not behind the VTuber rig anymore. But this is the thing about a VTuber. You find a similar enough voice, no one will know that you kicked out the previous VTuber.
Evils the media's just too scared to touch. Let's jump into today's topic.
Oh, Incompetent Hero, thank you. I'm so proud of the cover of that book. I have my little clothing tag tattoo there.
It's Kazuma Kiryu! But this latest video comes to us from right here in Japan in our own backyard. That means Kazuma Kiryu's come home. And why, you ask? Well, feast your eyes.
Oops. Kiryu, you went to go find your old friends for backup, and now the VTubers are like, hey, you know how we claimed that, like, Kiryu was trying to, like, rebuild the Yakuza? Here's a meeting between him and 3 other former heads of the Yakuza. He's doing it, he's bringing the Yakuza back. Like, Kiryu, you... I'm not saying you're at fault, but, you know, but... you haven't made it hard for this VTuber to paint a narrative about you.
This is the head of one of the biggest Yakuza groups of all time, the Tojo Clan's 6th chairman, Daigo Dojima. And that's not all. With him are Tojo Clan officers Goro Majima and Taiga Saejima. These are all major players, Yakuza all-stars if you will. How about our longtime viewers? I'm sure they recognize these guys,
just
right?
wear a big hat or something so that it's harder for people to, like, get footage where it's clearly you.
Same one yours truly covered a while back. A wicked security firm run by former Yakuza members, the company was dissolved shortly after we featured them on our channel. At first, we thought they had well disappeared, but it seems they've simply been hiding out. Now, what's this mean for Kazuma Kiryu? Why would he visit them now of all times? To find out, we've invited the man who risked his very life to bring us this footage.
Yes. Hello there.
Oh, it's
Now,
the truck
right away,
driver.
Don't mind telling us, sir. Just how did you end up with this video?
Well, I'm a truck driver, you see, and yesterday I picked up this hitchhiker. I didn't know the guy was Kazuma Kiryu.
Watch the new VTuber be an orphanage kid just to stick it to Kiryu. Oh, that would be rough.
I figured he was way too fishy, so after I dropped him off, I decided to follow him.
Oh, Daria Morgan, I'm so glad to hear that. I don't know how widely known this is. Myself and Mia Violet wrote those books in the same house. We were living together when we wrote those. Like, we were living in the same house when those books were written. Mia is the reason that Uncomfortable Labels exists. She got her book deal first and got asked by her publisher, do you know anyone who would want to write a book? And she came downstairs and was like, Nora, do you want to write a book? And I very quickly was like, let me come up with an idea, go. I'm glad we have complementary writing styles.
Kiryu and his Tojo Clan cohorts discussing in their little shack. Did you hear what they said?
From what I could hear, at least, it was stuff like going back to the Yakuza and reviving the Tojo Clan.
No, truck driver.
Going back to the Yakuza? Did you?
Oh, yeah, a cat made entirely out of urine. The dodgy black mold rent house was me. Or at least, so, we moved somewhere else after that. So we didn't write Yes You're Trans Enough and Uncomfortable Labels in the dodgy black mold house. But we lived together in the dodgy black mold house, and then we moved to a slightly nicer, less dodgy black mold house and wrote both the books there. I lived in the dodgy black mold house.
Hear that, folks?
That was the place directly after living in the pub flat.
I mean, everything we feared is coming true? The Yakuza really are planning their return. What does that spell for the rest of us?
When did this video go
Yeah, the
live?
dodgy
Earlier this morning.
the dodgy black mold rent house. Mia's bedroom door was literally like maybe 6 foot from the room where I recorded, like did my work, my little miniature little office room. Much of like, I was like 6 feet away from Mia's bedroom when like the surgery crowdfunder stuff was going on. I was like 6 foot away from Mia's bedroom.
It immediately went to #1 in trending, and it's even being reported on TV.
That wasn't Chitose, was it?
Nope.
Nope.
From what Kasuga told me, Chi-chan completely cut ties with Eiji after all that happened. My guess is he found a substitute.
Actually, some of the more passionate fans have noticed, but only a small percentage.
Okay, some of them have picked up that the
channel's
VTuber's being
grown,
replaced.
And now even the numbers alone are drawing in more viewers.
Right. And to the majority of them, it doesn't matter if they're getting the truth or not. Dwight said something similar a while back.
People will always choose the flashier lie over the duller truth. Of course.
There's just one thing we need to figure out then. And that's how to take the second great dissolution out of Ebina's hands. We need Daigo and the others' help. And that won't come easy.
Hey, hold on a second. Check the video.
The new VTuber is Dwight. He's very good at changing his cadence and the way he speaks. I love that theory. Also, side note, I want to tell you about a fantastic fucking bit of active politics I've seen done recently. Which is, so the short version, there is a guy who has been finding listings of like vacant properties, and like in the US, like 10% of properties in the US are just completely vacant. And lovely fact, a lot of these properties are like long-term vacant properties, investment portfolios owned by people living abroad who never come inspect them in person. This gentleman has been creating a website to list the addresses of vacant properties with the intent of, hey, are you homeless? Go find one of these that isn't properly locked, enter, claim squatters' rights, stay there long enough to get eminent domain and end up with the property. Here is the steps you can do to legally not be breaking the law, stay in a vacant property that is not being inhabited in, and if the owners don't catch on for long enough, eventually own the property. And I'm like, that's good fucking praxis, basically creating a map of, here is about 10% of the addresses in the US that, hey, if you were to follow these steps, they would struggle to kick you out, you'd have a roof over your head, and maybe eventually it would just be your property, so, give it a go. Yeah, Conrad, I think, will be a fan of it. I don't know if Conrad's aware. I'm sure Conrad's probably come across it. It's some good praxis. He's been doing interviews where he's just been, like, starting to list addresses of vacant properties while live on the air, and I'm like, It entirely depends where you are as to how long you have to be there, to entirely claim ownership of the property. Like, it is a number of years to go that far in the process, but squatters' rights to, at the very least, be able to be in the property with a roof over your head, having not broken the law, it's a fairly easy process to do in a lot of places.
They say something kind of odd right here.
Also, yes, nice news about the women's college basketball championship coach being pro-trans women. Hell yeah, good allyship there.
Hell now, if that's not a shock, I don't know what is. As always, folks, I'll be sure to keep you posted as soon as I hear more. On that note, our next video is a special treat. That's right, tonight I'm going live! We had some guests recently. Ebina-san and Sawashiro-san from the Seiryu clan. Remember them? Well, as it turns out, they just offered to make an important announcement right here on my channel! I'll be visiting the Seiryu clan offices in Tokyo up close and personal, so don't miss out!
Ebina and Sawashiro?
And it's tonight. We don't have much time.
Plus, if it's a live stream, that means they'll actually be there.
Not only that, but Eiji should be there too.
The Seiryu clan's Tokyo office. That's the old Tojo clan headquarters. We'd better head over there.
Oh, incompetent hero. I think the context is specifically medical science's like lack of willingness to experiment with. Hey, could there be medication that could make autism symptoms less harsh? I'm gonna assume it's referencing the bit in Uncomfortable Labels where I talk about hey, there have been chemicals I've put in my body as an autistic person over the years where I've gone, oh, this is really fucking helpful. What the fuck? Why is science not looking into this? I've said as much. Fun fact: there is a section in Uncomfortable Labels. I'd have probably written it differently if I wrote it today, where I talk about like substance use and autism. And one of the things I do in there is I talk a little bit about MDMA and its effect on autism and that whole thing. Increasing numbers of countries globally are running medical trials for MDMA and autism, which is it's kind of personally validating seeing something that's been anecdotally talked about a lot in autistic circles for on the hush hush for a while be something that is getting like medical traction.
I'm game for whatever.
But you know, it was. It's a difficult subject talking about like, hey, this chemical did some good things for my brain, but also like it's not a chemical anyone can legally go and purchase. So like, doo-doo-doo. Incompetent Hero says, I can attest to psilocybin's effect on my depressive worldview, so I support exploring it as a medium. I was very almost part of a medical trial for psilocybin, testing the effects of psilocybin on autism. That was very almost a thing I was doing, like, with actual, like, doctor guidance for a while. There's a few chemicals that do interesting things with various mental health conditions. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go to the Seiryu clan hideout. Try and stop this this Tatara channel live stream.
There's nobody here. I figured fans would be storming the place.
Well, it's still Yakuza territory. Still, maybe not the best place to go in person. Be a pretty ballsy move, yeah?
It would be. That said, what does that say about us?
Ugh, what a pain.
Who's that?
One of my guys. I wonder what they want. It's me, what is it? What?
Hmm?
Huh. I see. Right. Thanks. It's Takabe.
Yeah, I will say this.
Seiryu clan chairman. Someone stabbed
As someone who had a bit of an alcohol problem in my teens, alcohol is not a healthy or sustainable way to reliably quiet down the tism.
Ah, ain't that convenient?
The trade-offs versus benefits really, that equation really doesn't pay
With him
off.
gone, the Seiryu clan can do whatever they please. And in light of that, I get the feeling they're about to try something big. Stream starting.
What's up, people? Tatara Channel coming at ya! Amazingly, this is my second stream today! What's more, tonight's show is
2 whole streams in a day.
anything we've ever seen! We might even witness history in the making if we're lucky! As I announced, we're on the town tonight. More specifically, Tokyo offices of Yakuza Titan, the Seiryu clan. Now then, a
What is she watching it on? A phone? I think. I assume.
are in the building. Seems they've got important news for us.
That's something.
Yeah, she's watching on her phone.
And what do you think they'll say?
Looks like they're about ready, so let's give them
Imagine if the Switch 2 had a browser. That would require Nintendo to let you access a browser. Oh, never.
I'm Ebina of the Seiryu clan.
It does look weirdly big in her hands in this shot, I'll give you that.
I'm Sawashiro of the Seiryu clan.
Maybe it might be like my phone. I got one of those phones, it's a phone and you unfold it, now it's a tablet. Could have been one of those.
I'm sure many of you out there are feeling anxious, having heard rumors of the Tojo clan.
It's the live doxing stream, but that's kind of already happened. Yeah. This whole game has been oops, you got doxed on live.
On the matter. And that is, we of the Seiryu vehemently oppose the revival of the Tojo clan.
You don't oppose the revival of the Seiryu, though. Seiryu clan.
More competition as Yakuza?
No, on the contrary. It goes without
So
saying.
here's why I like my stupid little phone I got now.
Furthermore, we have been increasing our ranks as of late.
When it is in phone mode, it's a reasonably small phone. It's just like it's small little phone. You know, I can hold it comfortably in one hand. You see, it's a little tall, but then when I unfold it, haha, I got a whole ass tablet here.
Their simultaneous disbandment should still be fresh in everyone's memories. Regardless, as a result, many former Yakuza members flooded society, impacting public safety. And in response, former Tojo clan...
I love there's 200,000 people watching Yakuza members on a VTuber stream. Feels weirdly real.
Being a seasoned Yakuza myself, I believe it was a colossal blow to all of us. Now, the Great Dissolution's ringleaders were Daigo Dojima, Masaru Watase, and of course, Masumi Arakawa. These three men plunged Japan into chaos, and needlessly...
Sawashiro, you're supposed to be on our side, you're really kind of fucking us over.
This is fact.
Oh.
You know, I'm sure he's only playing the part here. I wonder how much he actually believes. I guess he is putting his life on the line for Arakawa-san's legacy.
At this point, it's tough to say.
Huh?
Sawashiro wasn't told about the Great Dissolution back then. He was kept out of it. I'm sure in some sense, had he been included, things might have worked out better.
Incompetent hero, I'm sorry that I'm sorry that the bits are expensive. I'm sorry they jack up the price on the bits.
What else is new?
Therefore, myself and Sawashiro here, in order to fulfill
I need to
our
get back
duties
to
as
just
part
having
of
a
the
button where you
Yokohama
can just
Seiryu
ignore
clan,
Twitch entirely and just be like, if you want to do the equivalent of bits, but
developed a
just
plan to truly disband
sidestepping
the
them.
Yakuza, once
Here's
and
just
for
the
all.
Laura money bucket.
Now. And how do you plan to do that?
I had one for a while and then
Right now in Japan,
100 bits minimum to
5-year
cheer,
exit
yeah.
clause is a shackle.
You used to be able to do the old, like, I'm literally just gonna throw one bit and be like, haha.
Those longing for a normal life can expect but one thing: complete and
Yeah, I
total
need a
exile.
add a tip button.
One
I
may
just
as
need
well
to
be dead.
sort
Noble
make
efforts
it be a thing
aside,
again.
the previous dissolution failed to consider this. To that end, I have created a support program that will reintegrate every last member of the Yakuza back into society upon its inception.
It really doesn't sound like you're getting rid of the
Thus
Yakuza,
would mark
Ebina.
the second great dissolution. The disbandment of the Yakuza, in the truest sense imaginable. To aid the project, we've since begun talks with the Japanese
Oh, no,
government
I
and
haven't.
hope to receive their cooperation.
I haven't set that. So here's the thing. Yeah, the single bit donations, like, I have a thing that can, like, back in when you could just donate a single bit, I had a button where I could make it so that you had to donate more than a single bit as part of my package of I'm getting swarmed by a hate raid, like, put everything on lockdown. But I never needed to turn it on. It is if Twitch is making you do more than a single bit, that's entirely on Twitch.
Mint? Gotta say, this is a big deal.
Yeah, like, I don't even, like, I don't run ad breaks on Twitch. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've never done anything on this channel voluntarily that would go, I need you to put up with more ads, or oh, you're not paying me enough. I expect here's a minimum threshold. If you're gonna pay me money, it's got to be more than that. I'm like, nah, that's gross. And anything like that happens on this channel, that's Twitch.
To our plan.
I run the minimum possible intrusion on all of you to be like, I'm just here to give you a stream to watch. Anything else is like, is a nice thing that I'll say thank you for, but...
The disposal of nuclear waste.
Yeah, Twitch does run ads as they please every now and then, but I don't optionally put more in.
Nuclear power plants work non-stop, producing copious...
Oh, here we go. The villain plan is finally public to the world.
There are no proper disposal areas within Japan. As it stands, said waste has only continued to accumulate.
They're using the VTuber to launder their evil plan and make it sound good.
But also dispose of it. The answer lies with Hawaii's very own group, Palikana.
I think you're saying a bit too fucking much, Ebona.
For
like,
years.
You probably shouldn't be publicly saying, hey, that group in Hawaii, that religious group that has a secret private island no one's allowed to go to, they're going to be instrumental in us getting rid of our nuclear waste. It feels like very quickly the Hawaiian government's going to realise all of the nuclear waste is just off their shore.
Palikana has contributed to both charity and environmental...
Like, I feel like you're giving the game away a little, Ebona.
They even have their own disposal site.
Oh, Palikana have their own disposal site. I wonder where that is.
After long negotiations, Palikana has agreed to...
Like, Ebona, you really should be keeping the specifics of how Palikana is dealing with the waste.
Also committed
Keep
to
it quiet.
hiring former Seryu clan members following the upcoming dissolution.
Everyone's terrible at keeping secrets in this game, but I love it.
You won't just solve the nuclear waste issue, but you'll help your colleagues back on their feet as well.
Oh, look at this VTuber selling their bullshit.
Indeed. And please, let it be clear that the reason we're here is to, above all, convey the good faith of the Seryu clan. We'd like to show our sincerity, that our plan is more than empty words. And in order to do so, we've decided to take that first step right here on the stream.
And what would that be?
But what else? As of this moment, the Yokohama Seryu clan is officially dissolved.
You mentioned you were preparing to disband, but you meant right now?
That's right. Tomorrow, we will be reborn as a new organization, a wholly legitimized non-profit. Our name? Bleach Japan.
Bleach Japan is back. Higopodit Nera says, God, the VTuber feeding them lines like a news interview just makes me feel gross. You know what it reminds me of that happened recently? And this is going to be a little bit of a side tangent. There was recently a documentary released called Quiet on Set that was about, like, pretty fucking gross treatment of child stars on Nickelodeon. And a big part of the focus of that was on Dan Schneider, who was, like, the guy behind a lot of the big wave of popularity of Nickelodeon shows. And he did, like, a apology interview thing with one of the actors from one of his Nickelodeon shows. And the fucking feeding of lines vibe here is really reminding me of, like, actor from Dan Schneider's show asks leading softball questions to Dan Schneider. It's that very specific, like, here's the feed line we rehearsed so you can give your good, well-rehearsed answer shit.
Bleach Japan?
What the hell's he talking about?
Back from the dead. How do you like
Yeah, I couldn't tell you which service it was on. I caught most of the stuff that came out of that documentary via TikTok. But I sure did see that interview, and it sure was disgusting.
For today's stream. Catch you at the next update.
Jerks. That was all talk.
Should still be inside. Are you waiting for him?
No, it might not.
And this is how we tie things back to AG now, because we know that AG used to be part of Bleach Japan before it fell apart. And they're trying to bring back Bleach Japan. It all comes full circle.
Oh, my. If it isn't Kiryu-san, come trudging back to dig up the old Tojo clan. Your little breakup might have been a wash.
I might try and do a daytime stream tomorrow because I want to show off a game that I posted an accessibility episode about today and a review of called Botany Manor. It's one of the games from the Accessibility Summer Showcase last year. It is out tomorrow, I believe. It is just a chill game about exploring a house and the surrounding gardens, trying to find the clues you need to make plants grow and bloom. It's such a chill game. It is a real mix of, like, enjoying researching and learning about plants alongside, like, you know, a narrative about the gatekeeping barriers to women in academia in the late 1800s. It's real good. It's real good. I might try and do a daytime stream of it tomorrow because I want to really give people a chance to see a bit of it. But having now played it, I can say, yeah, I think it's a really charming. It's not a super long game, but it doesn't have to be. It's a delightful time.
Take a look at yourself.
Is there a date for the Accessibility Summer Showcase 2024? Tentatively, yes. I haven't like officially 100% gone, this is exactly when we're definitely doing it, but that needs to happen soon, and it's probably going to happen this week. I might as well just say, we're currently looking at Friday the 7th of June. Friday the 7th of June, so it's about 2 months away from now, pretty much 2 months from today. Probably going to be at 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. I think is the plan. That'll put us about 3 hours before Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest opening night live. So we will probably be the first showcase out the door that day. We will kick things off, and then Keighley can have his deal a couple of hours later. I have a couple of last announcements I'm trying to nail down, and I'm just trying to work out, like, are there any dates that things are happening where I kind of need to move the showcase about so that, like, I'll give a hypothetical. Let's say I wanted to do a Nintendo Direct style, and it's available today reveal on something. That would require lining up with when the devs will definitely be ready to do that, or something of that nature. I want to make sure those pieces are in place before locking the date in, but it's probably going to be the 7th of June. I would imagine at 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. That's right now the plan. I just need to finish locking stuff in. Also, hey, Roman Sanchez. Bella Bean, I'll say this. I want to get the balance right between stuff that was there last year and new stuff. But there will be some things that were shown last year that will come back, and there will be a little more to talk about, and we'll show them again in a different way. And in some cases, like, I'll say this, Whitethorn Games, who published Botany Manor, they're going to be back this year. They've got some new stuff to show, but also, you know, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing if a little bit of Botany Manor showed back up. Can I just Essence Dragon God, probably. There's some games that were shown last year and still aren't out that might come back this year, but with something exciting to justify them coming back this year. Like, yeah, the fact that 2 months will fly by is terrifying, though. I've got about 6 weeks before I need to, like, have all the files and go. There are 2 weeks for me to fucking go from here is a bunch of files to it's out. That's like 6 weeks away, so, but yeah, I can say this. I have a couple of, like, I've got a couple of big publishers that, like, everyone in this chat will hear the name and go, oh, them! They've got something. I got a few of those. There's a few things from last year that, like, you know, maybe maybe that thing you saw last year, it's back and now it has a release date, or maybe it has a playable demo out today. You know, there are some advancements I'm excited to be making, and I should say little more. Actually, I'll say this as well. I'll say one more thing. There'll probably be another game giveaway this year, similar to the Sniper Elite giveaway we did last year. There will be another game that'll have a giveaway, and I think we're locked in on what it's going to be.
Allow me.
Are you done with all the fun and games?
Ella Bean says, will you include the game you're 1/3 of the credits on, or will it be a secret still then? I will say this. It will be in the showcase this year. So if it isn't, if I haven't talked about it publicly by the showcase, you will get to find out you'll get to see a game in the showcase that I actively helped with the accessibility stuff on. We're excited to work with Ubisoft. Nah. But yeah, there's... yeah, I don't know if I'll be talking about it before the showcase or not, but the game that I am working on this week is one that
You're going to regret this.
I can say this is vague enough. There's a game that almost was in last year's showcase, and like timings just didn't work out. That will be coming to this year's showcase, and I'm excited. I was really bummed out that we couldn't have it in the showcase last year, and things have shaken out a bit now, and it is going to be in this year's showcase, and I am real hyped to get to include it.
Are you done with all the fun?
It's real neat. Like, again, without saying what this game is, it is a game that the developers actively watch accessibility and were like, hey, we've learned so much about accessibility from the stuff you do. Can you come consult? And I did, and I looked at what they were up to, and I was like, you've learned well from me. You're on a good track. Yeah, I need to do a big push later this week for last chance devs. Let me know about your game if you want to be in the showcase, and then I need to work out what we're doing this year with the getting some stuff from other people in the accessibility space. Like, I don't know if we'll do the same as we did last year with some like, hey, here's why accessibility is important to me segments, or if we do something slightly differently. But I want to do... I'm still playing around with some of the format stuff.
Doing better than I thought.
I can say this. I'm really excited about the audio described version of the showcase this year. Last year, the audio described version of the showcase ended up being a little cobbled together. I did my best with it. This year, I've gone in with much clearer instructions for the developer end of what they can do to facilitate making the audio described version of the showcase run smoother. Last year, the Stories of Blossom trailer was a really good example to be able to point to this year of, like, here's an example of a trailer that really makes it easy for me to provide audio described content. I'm really excited for the audio described version in particular to take a step up in production quality this year.
Sweet! Looks like taking the front doors out.
Over here. We'll head through the back. It's a straight shot from here.
I still want to believe this will be the year where you finally find out what all the secret shit I've been working on is. I've been saying for like 2-3 years now, being like, this will be the year, and then none of it ever surfaces. But This'll be this time it really will be the year that all of my secrets shall be revealed. Much like I said last year or the year before. But this time for realsies. Maybe not all of it. I doubt all of it. I imagine at least two or three in them all. If I was gonna put bets on, I'd say at least 2 or 3 things I worked on this year would probably happen. Maybe. You know, there'll always be secret projects in the wings, but I reckon a good few of them must be time for me to be able to tell you what I've been up to.
No begging for mercy now. Yeah, give him hell. Bring it on. Double the trouble.
I love Dandelion. Trust me. If only I could spill the beans.
Did you really think you'd win?
Incompetent Hero, I am really excited about that game, and I'll say what I said when that game was revealed at the Game Awards. I would love to have them in the 2024 Accessibility Summer Showcase. Now, beyond that, you're gonna have to wait a couple of months, but I would love to have them in the 2024 Accessibility Summer Showcase. Look, I'm not gonna say yes or no to anything at this point. It's still like 2 months. Who knows what, for better or worse, who knows what could happen in 2 months. I'm not gonna promise anything, cause like, I think I can say this. Last year, it didn't end up working out just because like the timings didn't work out. But there was a while where the big game of last year's Accessibility Summer Showcase was going to be Cult of the Lamb. There was a accessibility update. It ended up not coming until I think like September. But there was a while where we were going to have the first reveal of a bunch of new accessibility settings for Cult of the Lamb. We're going to be part of the 2024 Accessibility Summer Showcase. In some early press releases about the showcase, I believe we had Devolver on the list of companies that were going to have stuff to show, which is why I'm being a little more cryptic this time, because like sometimes things just don't work out for reasons completely out of everyone's control, you know. But I'm trying to work on making as many cool things happen as possible, and you'll see on June 7th what is there. Look, I walked the line between journalist and source. Like, the Botany Manor review that I've got up on accessibility that went up today is an example of like, look, hey, I recognize I should probably be, you know, clear and transparent about the situation, the fact that I sort of promoted this game during last year's showcase, but, you know, be skeptical, but also I promise you it ain't gonna stop me being critical of the game. I have criticisms of Botany Manor, particularly on Switch, with some of the design choices that were made and how they impact motion sickness accessibility. I think some of those are technical hurdles of the hardware, and some of them are philosophical design things of the game. But like, yeah, no, I am happy to give that game a spotlight, and then also go, that game is great, but also I'm going to be critical where I need to of stuff in it. The line that I walk. Trust me, Incompetent Hero. I've done enough media training to not say anything I shouldn't. I know where the line is, and how to avoid stepping over any lines. Yeah, Bellabean, like, I try to be as detailed as I can on that, because I want to be clear. This isn't, like, that Botany Manor review, it's not like when I've played stuff like, the VR mode of Resident Evil 8, for example. Like, there's stuff that makes me, like, viciously sick. Botany Manor is, like, I had, like, a little bit of onset nausea, and some of that's the device, and some of that is design philosophy, but you know, it was. I want to be clear. The stuff they put in there to mitigate definitely fucking helped. Oh, Incompetent Hero, don't worry. As a quote unquote journalist, I understand the impulse. How do you think many of my old scoops happen? You gotta poke and prod for info. Even if I'm not super active doing the leaking stuff anymore, I get the urge to poke and prod the edges for info.
I'm on a roll. Let's go.
Let's fuck this guy up.
And that's the end of it. Learning more every day. Should I open it?
Open the thing. Do we have better gear for anyone right now? What was that new item? War God's Keystone? Ooh. That's a nice item. You can have that, Kiryu. Incompetent Hero. Here's the thing. I always have to think about some of the leak stuff and go. I have to do the maths and go, was this one of the ones where the story of how I found out would be vague enough for no one to get in trouble? Because Incompetent Hero says, how did you end up finding out about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle? I know the event itself has been gone over a few times, but I don't recall ever hearing about how that started. So I can say this, I think. Someone who was involved in that game was negatively motivated by some things that were going on, and reached out to feel like they had some kind of control in a not great situation. I think that's pretty vague. I didn't go snooping for that. The stuff to do with that came to me. That was very much one where someone came to me with very verifiable... Yeah, I'll say this, I wasn't surprised when all the Ubisoft stuff broke. Like, I had no proof and no evidence that Ubisoft were shitty or that it was a widespread thing with the executive class. But when I heard the stories that Ubisoft was, like, across the board really shitty at the executive level, my response to that was, yeah, that tracks. If that gives you a sense of, like... It gives you a sense of the kind of stuff I was hearing. But, like... I didn't go reaching out for Kingdom Battle. That info came to me, and it came to me with assets. I never shared any of the visual stuff I saw, but it was stuff where it was like, you would need a hell of a lot of fucking money and time and patience to have faked the assets that you're showing me. It was above and beyond what would be believable for someone trying to prank me. Alongside verifying, you sure are the human being you claim to be, and you sure do work the place you claim to work. And that was enough for me to be confident that was a real thing.
I'm on a roll. Let's go.
Something wrong? Allow me.
it's real interesting. Because I can say this about my time leaking stuff. A few of my early leaks were things I went and actively sought out, where I went hunting stuff down. But after a while, a lot of stuff started just coming to me. And a lot of the work just became verifying what had come to me rather than seeking stuff out. Once you have a reputation of someone that people can bring stuff to, and that you will keep... You will deal with what they have shared with you in a way that protects their anonymity and keeps enough quiet that they cannot be narrowed out or gotten in trouble. Other people who have stuff that they're like, I want to share this and I want to know who someone I can trust isn't just going to accidentally give away the game of who I am. A lot of people just start coming to you, which is interesting. Like, one of these days, when the statute of limitations is passed, I want to write a book about that. Because there are so... The reasoning behind the people who shared stuff, and why they shared stuff, and why they fucked over their own company's PR cycles, is fascinating to me.
Hell yeah.
As someone who is like, you know, I've never broken an NDA I've been under, but I have facilitated sharing information that other people brought to me that they probably should have been under an NDA on. It's real interesting seeing what it takes for someone to go, fuck this, I'm gonna risk my career to tell someone else some information that they will get credit for knowing. It's a real interesting... People justified it to themselves in a lot of ways, some of which I thought were more valid than others in terms of justifications.
Here we go.
Whereas on the other hand, some of it is just you were near someone who got drunk and said stuff they shouldn't have said. That's always fun. Is it because you use your SJW powers on them with your blue hair and pronouns? So, I can say this, because it's not so much a thing anymore as it used to be. But there was an era where if you wanted to find out what was going on in the UK games industry and you wanted to leak stuff from UK developers, there was a really easy way you used to be able to do it, which was you go and have a drink in a very specific pub in Guildford, because Guildford was like the big hub where like the trifecta of all the UK games industry kind of crystallized. It was Codemasters were there, EA had an office there, Peter Molyneux was based there, the No Man's Sky team was there, and all of their buildings like kind of converged in a sort of area. And there was one pub in particular that you could go to on a Friday, you know, Friday after work hours, and you could just sit there and quietly listen as a bunch of developers from a bunch of different studios were not subtle while talking about shit they were working on. And you could just go sit there and just listen, and they sometimes wouldn't even talk about stuff that they were working on. They'd sometimes talk about like, oh, my friend over at Insert Publisher is told me they're working on blank, and would not be quiet about it. And that used to be a very valid way of on the sly finding out what the UK industry was up to. A lot of people got very comfortable sharing company secrets at the pub.
Should I open it?
I should be opening all of these these locations because a lot of them are going to have unique gear. I'm going to have completely unique armor pieces that are probably going to be some of these characters' late game
I think we're
armor.
clear. I don't see any enemies.
So it sure should be this way.
Incompetent Hero says, I feel like in general, people just have their hackles up and are ready to turn on their employers for being trash. Honestly, a lot of it does boil down to, I am fucking fed up of capitalism and the lack of control I have within my workplace. Fuck it, I want to feel like I have some control. I'm gonna ruin their big corporate surprise because I'm, you know, I am yet another example of the worker being exploited by the corporate elite, you know, siphoning our income. Wage theft being what it is.
Walk down memory lane, Kiryu-san.
Dandelion says the biggest leaker at one company I know is the boss. Honestly, doesn't surprise me either. I mean, if you're the boss, you're the person who ultimately is in charge of who gets to say what, I feel like. Yeah, a lot of people just get fed up with a bad boss and go, fuck it, I am not being treated well in my workplace. I'm being made to work like fucking 80-hour weeks and, you know, getting underpaid and denied bonuses and the bosses are being shitty. Fuck it, here's what I'm working on. There you go. Incompetent Hero says, if my company went to shit, I would be that guy. I always love knowing how everything works, and sometimes you need to learn more than you were ready to. Look, I have read some scary fucking contracts in my time, and I can assure you, no amount of being unhappy with the company I've worked for would get me to break an NDA. But that is because, like, I've read some of the fucking, like, the degrees of my life being decimated if it was found out I had done so, you know. But also, like, I've done creative stuff and I know how much it fucking sucks to have, like, your big reveal circumvented. I have a very different outlook on personally being in the leaking game today than I did when I was doing it. Because, like, having books out and, like, having put, like, proper long-form creative works out to the world and knowing what it would be like if someone leaked them. Like, last year I talked about the fact that, like, one bookseller just started selling a book a month before it's meant to be on sale and how much that fucked over stuff. I'm like, yeah, it definitely gave me a perspective on some of this stuff, but also, you know, I also don't want to be sued into the next millennium for sharing shit I've worked on.
What? Come get it. Hey, bring it out. Morons, give it here.
Yeah, my rationale back in the day was always very like, well, I'm not under an NDA, I'm not obligated not to share this. And, like, I still think that's accurate, but, you know, it's some of the stuff that I leaked that I probably wouldn't do today.
You kidding me with that shit? This private army wasn't enough?
Making a mess of it.
It's not the finale yet. We've not yet reached... There's a very definitive point we're going to reach soon, where this game is going to go, this is your last time to be in Hawaii, and then it'll go, this is your last time to be in Japan. And I think it's right after this. I think this is the penultimate thing. I think after this fight through the Seiryu clan hideout, we're going to go back to Hawaii, and that'll be our final time in Hawaii, and then we'll come back to Japan and it'll be our final time in Japan. We are, like, right on the precipice of the end of this game. You know, no spoilers for how trying to raid the Seiryu clan hideout here is going to go. But maybe we don't fix all of the problems on the Japan side on this trip. Ooh. Good luck, Kiryu! That sword just chopped through a sword.
Shit, look at the size of that thing.
Big swipe will split you in two. Better stay clear.
Yeah, let's... Ooh, yeah. Kiryu, do the real-time mode. Yeah, just casual Yakuza with the Sephiroth sword. Why not? This man is sturdy.
Yeah.
Let's get the big guy down quick.
What's the hold
Dandelion says, I love how Kiryu's cancer stops progressing when you're on Animal Crossing Island. Look, a nice little break with some sunshine and not constantly doing battles with Yakuza groups did great for Kiryu's health. Like, you know, the cancer slowed down when he stopped, like, getting into life or death fights every 5 minutes for a bit, while Dondoko Island happened.
Fight like
Who wants to go? I'm on a roll. Let's go. All right, let's finish it together. We only need one shot.
Yeah, the leaking stuff was definitely an interesting time. One thing that I can say fairly safely is some of the stuff that I got from leaks was very much motivated by just people who are like, hey, I'm a fan of your content. I really enjoy the stuff you do. Your content's real good and like it brings me joy. I want to help you out. Here's a corporate secret. Here's a secret. Knowing this will maybe help your career. Off you go. There was a whole phase where some of it was just like, hey, I enjoy cooking with depression. That's some real funny shit. Have a corporate secret. As I said, the motivations were all over the fucking shop. That's wholesome, if not entirely legal. I mean, yeah, look, every time I would be like, are you sure you want the consequences of, you know, potentially getting in trouble for sharing information you are under embargo on? You know, like, it is you who is at risk if you share this with me. Are you sure that's the thing you want to do? I don't want to get you in trouble. But no, you want to share that with me? Cool, okay, I will do my best to handle it in a way that you don't get in trouble. Doo-doo-doo.
Quit wriggling and hold still.
Now
This is no way to fight.
You can't take this.
Let's see. Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
Okay.
Yeah, I very much appreciate the companies that like didn't burn bridges for that were like, yeah, we get it. We're not gonna like not work for you in the future. Like, I think a good example, PlayStation. PlayStation sent me a PS5 review unit ahead of release. They sent me the Access controllers and the PSVR 2 for review. They consistently like give me access to review code for all their games like considerably ahead of release. I really assumed if any company was gonna like blacklist me forever, it was gonna be PlayStation. Like, I really thought the PS4 Slim unboxing and review 2 weeks before they'd even announced the thing was gonna like lifetime get PlayStation to not talk to me. And like, honestly, I respect the hell out of PlayStation that they routinely like will make sure that I get review code for games, that like they have invited me to preview events, give me review access to hardware.
Moving up in the world.
I really thought if any company was gonna go,
we should rally.
nah, you're out, it was gonna be them. What's the highest level enemy in this game? I have no idea. Highest level enemy.
Shit.
Okay,
I got
dragon.
away. You morons. Ebina-san and Sawashiro-san. They were never here to begin with. That live stream of theirs was a recording.
Oh shit. It was not a real live stream. Also, side note, I need to tell a story about fake live streams that appear to be live streams but aren't real. You know what? There's a fucking story of a guy that murdered his wife, but his alibi was to pretend he was live on Twitch. So he did a Twitch stream while he was murdering his wife, but like claimed that like, oh, there's a problem with the thing, so I like, chat's not showing up, so I'm not going to be like chatting with chat very much today. And like played a pre-recorded video on live stream, pretending he was there live in the video to go do it. Probably would have gotten away with it if, you know, A, he'd like gone, I'm playing a VR game today, therefore I can't see chat. You know, something more believable as to why he's not interacting with the chat. B, if he could have resisted putting some fucking jokes about the murder he was doing in the pre-recorded video, couldn't help but leave clues in the live stream to go, ha ha ha, I'm getting away with murder right now, hee hee hee. Okay, hard mode starts at level 55, legendary at level 70. Okay. Dandelion says, I think PlayStation just decided it was safer to get you under NDA. I've said this for years to publishers. I'm like, if you don't want me to leak your shit, the best way to do that is to give me official access to your shit under NDA. If you let me see your thing under NDA, I am legally obligated not to leak it, and at that point, like, I get better access to stuff and can do more timely coverage, and you don't get your shit leaked. It's a win-win for everyone. PlayStation is one company I think really took that to heart, which is like, the best way for me to get me not leaking shit is to just go, hey, we're handing out stuff to reviewers, do you want one? Do you want a copy of this game? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll officially have a look at it. I am less motivated to leak shit if the shit I'm getting is under I agree not to leak it agreements. Like Nintendo, if you don't want me to leak the Switch 2 next week, you know, get me to sign an NDA, show me the Switch 2 officially, like this week, and I won't have to leak it next week. Hee.
Just like that. Sure, we might not have gotten rid of you, but I think we'll be fine either way. That's right. Wait till you step outside.
Oh no, they lured us inside for suspect
Your
reasons.
Have fun running.
Sounds like there's no reason to stick around.
What's the ploy? Why did they lure us here?
Good plan.
With the fake live stream. Yeah, base game, no DLC. I think the boss of the Japan half of the game, I think, is level 54, if I remember right. I don't remember about the Hawaii half. I think the Japan half boss is like level 54.
Holy shit! Did Kiryu really do all this?
Oh.
Who are these people? Do they even realize where they are?
Oopsie.
And the media's here too. Crazy they just waltz
Kiryu!
through the front door like
Your whole being secret and dead and not, like, pretending you're not really alive shtick is really not going well. Wear a fucking mask or something.
The legend busts in right as the Seiryu clan's about to disband. The absolute madman.
Kiryu, you're really not doing great at dispelling the narrative that VTuber's trying to build about you. If only he had the shirt that said he wasn't Kiryu, exactly.
Finally, Japan's nuclear byproduct disposal agreement with a private individual, Bryce Fairchild of Polycana. But who is this enigmatic philanthropist?
For decades, Polycana has been known for its volunteer work on the islands. Under Bryce Fairchild,
Iridescent Aria, the villain's motivation was I want to fuck shit up. There was very little actual motivation other than, haha, I'm a villain.
Their charitable outreach to all corners of society. The Sage, as he's called by followers, adheres to a personal creed of relief for the helpless.
Stop fucking up this
Perhaps his
good charity with your cult shit.
is another
Bryce.
form of providing such relief.
Unbelievable. They're talking like he's a goddamn hero.
Yeah, but Lonnie is still our focus here. We need Nelly Island's location.
That's the thing. As far as anyone knows, Nelly Island doesn't exist. I even went to the library to look it up.
Makes no difference if you can find where it is or not. From what I hear, unless they know you, they won't even let you near the coast. Whatever's going on there, the rest of the world is blind to it.
Nelly Island is basically Bryce's little black box, it sounds like.
Shit, man. Finding this place is hopeless, isn't it?
Come on, don't talk that way.
Nah, Tommy's honestly got a point. Looking for the island isn't getting us anywhere.
Ichiban, not you too.
I mean, maybe we should start looking for something else. Nelly Island's no good. But what about ships heading to Nelly Island?
Ships?
Hard to imagine an island remote enough to store radioactive waste as totally self-sufficient. Whatever they can't get there, they need shipped from the Hawaiian mainland, right? What if we snuck aboard something bound for Nelly Island?
Cargo ships. You're right. They'd have to have them coming in and out.
As a matter of fact, I do recall at some point Bryce mentioning receiving boats. Unfortunately, I don't know what kind or where they depart from.
Well, I might have an idea. Only place I know decent-sized ships can dock is the Harbor Street Marina.
Nice. Let's check it out.
I think this is where we're going to wrap it up
Expecting to find something with a Polycana
for
logo
today.
on the side?
But
If you could
it's
tell
nearly
which
time for
were
us to head to
theirs, some
Polycana
prying
and
journalist would
go
have
go
hopped on
hopefully
one
find
They
Bryce
must be disguising themselves somehow.
and the Lani the kid that got kidnapped and
We go back, too.
deal with the Hawaii side of all this.
Whoa, way to come through.
I don't know if this is the last time we're in Hawaii. I feel like this is the last time we're in
Looking
Hawaii.
after Akane-san a little bit longer. Bryce could still send more people here.
Hey, Ichiban. I've got to ask, are you really sure about this guy? Handing Akane-san over to Polycana would solve a lot for him.
It's all good, Tommy. He won't do
Yeah, he's my matchaman now. He won't betray me.
Tomisawa-kun isn't wrong. If I gave up the old lady, I could keep my turf without any more.
Look at that smirk. You're not gonna do that though, bro.
Sure, but that'll never happen. Because you'd be giving her to Bryce, wouldn't you? And a man like you doesn't work with people he hates, right?
You're smarter than you look.
Akane-san, we'll be back before long.
Just be careful.
Cass says, "I wish he'd been that he'd been in the party." Speaking about Yamai, imagine him in a fire dancer dancer outfit.
So?
I think he'll be a party member in the inevitable sequel.
Son, but hey, you got time now. Just take it slow.
Thanks, I guess.
I think it's inevitable that Yamai will be like, whether he will be a party member or like a secondary protagonist, he's gonna be like a playable party member if the Ichiban series continues, which I suspect it will. Okay, we're not quite at the point of no return, but we're getting damn close. Then we're going to leave it here for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to have some streams on, like, unusual days this week. Let me have a look. What have I got? So, I will probably be doing a daytime stream of Botany Manor tomorrow. Wednesday, I'll be doing the usual evening stream of Like a Dragon. But I will also, at 6 PM UK, 1 PM Eastern, 10 AM Pacific, I will be streaming the Triple I Initiative showcase, which is 45 minutes of trailers and announcements from a bunch of different indie studios. At least one thing being shown in it has seemingly leaked, and it's an indie studio making a game with like a big AAA property, but in a genre that's not been made before. It's an interesting scale of announcement to set. I'm curious about the AAA showcase, so I'll be streaming that and then doing the usual evening stream. I might also be doing a daytime stream Thursday, fingers crossed, depending if things line up. So I've got a bunch of UK daytime streams happening this week. Look forward to those. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I'm going to go get some rest before meetings in the morning. Goodbye. Have a good rest of your day.